Hello there, welcome to Field Study, an exploration of food and the landscape. Hello, hello. So today we're going to be learning how to identify this, which is Dryad saddle or Polyporus Squamosus. And then I'm going to be talking you through why it's good as both an edible mushroom and a medicinal one. Stay tuned. Here we have a specimen that's a couple of days old. So I came up here the other day and it was literally just a few pins down here. I'll put the video up on the screen now. So it was here in its baby form. So I've been waiting for it to erupt into these lovely lobes at the moment. So Dryad saddle is actually one of the largest capped fungi that we have in the UK. So whilst it might look like a regular bracket fungus, like the chicken of the woods that we foraged for a few videos ago, I'll put the link up in the top, it actually grows from a rather stout stem. You can see the remnants of one of these stems here sticking out from the tree where this one's been picked. And if we look over here at one of these other older specimens, you can see the thick stem underneath it. So if we turn the cap over, instead of ridges or gills, it has this honeycomb network of pores or tubes. And this is what gives it its name, Polyporus, so many pores. And it really is a beautiful thing. So this spongy structure is where it forms and releases its spores into the environment, so it can find other host trees and make more Dryad saddle mushrooms. Pretty cool. So another identifying feature of this mushroom is the scales on the cap. So you'll see them there, they form a beautiful pattern. And this is where it grows so quickly and sort of outgrows its own skin. And it also gives it its other common name, which is the pheasant back mushroom, on account of it looking like pheasant feathers. So just a quick recap of what you're looking for when you're looking for Dryad saddle. You're looking for a large mushroom growing at the base of a dead or dying tree. And you're looking for these lovely scales on the top and this beautiful like fawn, sandy colour. And then underneath the cap you are looking for a honeycomb structure of pores instead of gills and a lovely stout stem which is used to support its weight as it's such a large mushroom. So when this is freshly cut, it actually smells faintly of watermelon or melon. And this, after cooking it, fades away unfortunately, so it's not useful to us in the kitchen. However, it can be another helpful thing to help you get a positive ID. So as with everything that we forage, if you aren't 100% on the identification, do not pick or consume any wild organism. This is another way of saying always go with enough knowledge to keep yourself safe. So you want to pick Dryad saddle when it's nice and young like this. When it gets old, like this specimen here, big old tough fella, then it really isn't good to eat. I guess you could dry it and powder it down, but really, if you've got the young stuff, then there really is no point picking a larger specimen like this. Leave him in the environment to spread his spores and carry on the life cycle. So this is a mushroom of the summer months, so you'll find it all the way from spring through till about now at the end of summer. Though I've seen this growing on this tree stump in February before, late February, in an unseasonably warm winter that we had. So this mushroom actually has about 60% carbohydrates in it, which is quite a hard thing to come across in the wild. So possibly the best use for this is to dehydrate it and then make it into a powder. And add a couple of tablespoons of it into a soup or a stew in the winter, and it will just make it much more hearty, it will fill you up. It's actually got some medicinal properties which I'll go into in a second that might help you out in the winter as well. So if you put this in a lovely venison stew and slow cooked it over the course of the day, then when you get back from walking the dog on the beach, you've got something nice to look forward to when you get in. There are studies showing that this is quite good as an antioxidant as well as being an immunomodulator. So bracket funguses and other polypores like the birch polypore are immunomodulators. So these are being studied quite a lot by scientists at the moment because they can help your immune system react proportionately to the threat that it's receiving. So when you come into contact with a virus, they can promote the immune system, and they can also do the opposite. So it's if your immune system is going into overdrive, they can suppress it slightly to bring it back within sort of normal functionality. So immunomodulators, I think they're going to be a very important medicine of the future, and definitely something that's going to help you out in the winter months when you're coming into contact with all sorts of colds and viruses. So I've actually read that this mushroom, when it gets old and woody like this, is good for making paper with. So the cell structure of this is actually similar to cellulose, so you can crush it down and make paper out of it. I'll leave a link to a book in the description below where you can find out more. So there we go, Dryad saddle. So whilst in my opinion it isn't the best from a flavour point of view, it is one that is well worth adding into your diet. As always, I'll leave some links in the description below with more information and resources on foraging for edible mushrooms. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe for more foraging videos and recipe ideas from this beautiful landscape. Take care.